Hi guys, I am not sure if I am there yet or not. I don't see myself on my own phone, so I'm gonna wait just a second if it's streaming. Can you see me? Ooh, I think you can. Hello everybody, how's everyone doing? I'm super excited that you're joining me today for this little kitchen witch magic lasagna making, and yeah, I just wanted to have this time to have fun together, to chat a little bit about witchcraft, about kitchen witchery, about basically anything. Doesn't have to be witchcraft related, whatever you guys want, and to prepare a lovely meal all together. So I will sometimes look down because I have my phone there, so I can see the chat and everything. I can see who's there, if you people are asking me questions, if there's anything happening, and I'll be switching between two cameras because my stove is over there, and here is where we will prepare everything. So first of all, let me quickly say hello to the people in the chat. Who's here? Oh, hello, the wayward witch. Absolutely adorable studio. Kyla Goldson. Hello, hello, hello. Well, lovely to have you all here. So does everyone have the things prepared? I posted the recipes for the different types of like food that we have, the vegan version, the vegetarian version, and the regular version. So I will be making the regular version today. And yeah, I will warn you for my vegan and vegetarian friends when to look away if I have any shot of the meat, which I will try to have as little as possible. But as we're cooking together, I kind of have to film it. All right, cool. So can everyone hear me okay? If someone could comment it in the chat, that would be super good. Hello, hello, hello. Oh yeah, the mason jar pantry. I love that too. Okay, so I guess the sound is just fine. So I would say we start, and I just wanted to invite you, if you have any questions, to ask, to just ask me. We can also do this a little bit of a Q&A if you want to know anything about me or about my craft or my kitchen witchery in specific. Yeah, we're just gonna use it for that. Oh, hola, Petri. My mother-in-law is watching as well. Very lovely. Okay, perfect. So I thought what we would do first is to start with preparing the pasta sheets. And that is something that I usually don't do because, it's just so easy and convenient to take like the regular packaged things. But I thought today we're gonna do it a little bit special, and it's actually really, really easy to do. So there is no good reason why we shouldn't do it anyway. And I think it's a fun little thing to know how to fashion, and it is super easy. It just contains out of flour and eggs and a little bit of salt, and that's basically it. Are you guys with me on that, or are you going for the cheat version? Let me know. All right. Perfect. So I'm just gonna set that out. We're gonna wait 2-3 minutes longer until everyone is settled, and then we'll start with the cooking so no one is missing anything. Okay? Let's see. I need my salt. All right. Fantastic. I don't know what's everyone drinking today. I actually am drinking the fresh apple juice that we had juiced at Mabon, if you saw my vlog from there. We got so many liters of apple juice. I don't know when we will ever finish that, but it's very refreshing. I put a little bit of cinnamon in it, so it gives it that cozy autumn feel. Hi, Kitchen Craft. Hello to, I almost wanted to say Stockholm, but hello to Edinburgh. Nice to have you here. All right, I'd say we start the cooking. So I have here a bowl with flour, right? And we have here the eggs and here the salt. So if you wanted to make the vegan version that obviously doesn't have any eggs, I gave an alternative recipe where you would use aubergines or courgettes, works both, but I think I wrote aubergines. So what you can do with those is to slice them in like fine little like wheels of aubergines, basically. And then you wanna sprinkle a lot of like coarse sea salt on top, place them in a little sieve, and then you just leave them there for a while because the salt will extract all the bitterness and some of the liquid out of the aubergine, and it gives it a very, very nice texture later on when we fry it and then use it instead of the lasagna sheets. So, but for the vegetarian and for the carnivore people here, let's make that little pasta dough. So we start by adding 4 eggs to the flour. Oh, charm up your life. I'm so sorry that you can't watch the video. Yeah, I hope it works. It would be lovely to have you on. So a couple of people that are commenting here also have really nice YouTube channels, and I will shout out some of them later on because they're really worth checking out, especially if you're into witchcraft or kitchen witchery. So stay tuned for that. All right, so I cracked my 4 eggs into the flour. Let's add some salt to this. Just like a good amount. You know, give it some flavor. Because it doesn't have anything else in it, so might as well, you know, taste like something. Okay, perfect. And then we want to combine that, but I always hate to get like all this sticky, glibbery glue under my fingernails. So what I always do with that, as I'm not using any kitchen machines, is to just take a regular fork like this and then mix it just like so. And you really want to combine that. And then after it's like a little bit better combined, we can work it with our hands. But yeah, that way we don't get too meshy. Let's see. Okay. Well, it's so nice to have so many people here. Are you all cooking with me or are you just watching me work? I hope some of you are cooking as well. And yeah, lasagna for me is like one of those dishes that are super nice to prepare for any kind of family gatherings. And I usually do it like every second week or so when we have like a little bit more of a relaxed evening as a family. Because it's just such a comforting dish to me. It has carbs, it has the nice sauce, it has a ton of cheese, at least the way I make it, it has a ton of cheese. And obviously, it also has a couple of ingredients in it that are great for everything related to harmony, to bliss, to family. How you say that? Family love or just family harmony, basically. And I will tell you a little bit more about that later on when we're actually preparing those said ingredients. Yeah, no, I always love to cook by hand. The way Woodwitch just said, I love that you do all by hand. For me, that's yeah, especially when I'm working kitchen witchery. It has to do with that I then feel that I can work my intention longer into it. Like I can really focus and mindfully prepare, as when I throw everything in a blender or in a kitchen machine, it just feels like a little bit disconnected from what I'm doing. Obviously, if I'm just cooking like a quick dish, like I also just use the machines I have in the house here, but not when I'm working my magic. One second, I have my cameraman handing me a paper that I can't read because it's way too far away because I'm an old lady that needs glasses. What does it say? Okay, he says the picture is flickering. Is anyone else experiencing that? Oh yeah, I think that is a very, very nice name indeed. So I think no one is bothered by the flickering, so I don't think we need to do anything. But thank you very much. I have an insane amount of cables and monitors and cameras and lights in front of me. It's intimidating. um, I'm really not tech savvy at all. Luckily, I live with someone that is. So this stream is brought to you by Lewis, my partner. A big thank you to him because otherwise I would probably be on my phone like, can you see the dough? So yeah. Okay. So as you see, like this dough, don't know if you can actually see, it is very dry, but it's supposed to be very dry. Because it makes it easier later on to work with it. And from this dough, you can obviously not only make lasagna sheets, you can also make pasta from it. It basically is the same process. You roll it out very thin, which we will do later on. And then you just cut it in little like stripes. Obviously, if you have a pasta maker, then it's even easier. I don't have one because I'm just not making pasta often enough. But yeah, I love this recipe. It's quite nice and it just tastes better. Like homemade pasta just has a very different taste from what you can get in the, in the store-bought plastic bag, so to say. Just reading your comments. Oh, that's perfect. That is working good. Let me just see. From Ingolstadt, Lucy Lengfelder. Hello, I'm not so far apart from you. I'm in Vilseck, which is close to Amberg, if you know that, or Weiden. All right, perfect. The flickering light looks like it's coming from the candles. It might actually come from the candles. I have two standing here, but as long as it looks cozy, that's all I want to hear. That's good. Okay. So the Wayward Witch says, I actually charm additional intention into my kitchen tools using anointing oil on blades. But my favorite thing to still do by hand is the drumming shifting on flour. I remember when you said it in one of your videos, and I think that's actually a really cool thing. And I kind of adopted that as well. I know that you come from more of a shamanic background or something that you bring into your craft. So I think that's even more connected with that. I think it's really, really cool. When it comes to kitchen witchery or witchcraft in general, very simple, practical. I don't do much. For me, it's in the very little things. Like for me, it's really in the intent I stir into it. Sometimes in the herbs I pick, which I usually like base off on like the medicinal purposes and at times the magical ones, obviously. But for the rest, I use whatever pot, I use whatever knife. The only things that I have are my kitchen witch spoons with my sigils on. That I created for like different purposes. For example, I have one for harmony, I have one for communication, I have one for success. These three are the ones that I can remember now, and those I will use as my magic tools in the kitchen, so to say. Oh, Tennessee, Paige, nice, all the way from the States, and 27 Sparkle. I think you go by the name of Lucille, if I pronounce or remember that right. Thank you, by the way, for your support. Much appreciated. A spoon tour. I might show you my spoons. I have to see if they're not in the massive pile of dishes that you can't see because it's strategically placed so the camera doesn't point at it. But yes. Oh yeah, it's you. Perfect. Okay, guys. So now, this dough, like if you're doing this right now with me, it should feel really hard. Like as you can see, I'm struggling to knead it, and not only because I have zero arm strength or muscle strength in my arms, but also just it's the mixture. It's like the eggs and the flour ratio that makes it that hard, but that's exactly what we want. We just want to make sure that it's, probably like properly. Sometimes I have some problems with my English, so please excuse that. I'm working on it. We just want to make sure that it's like properly mixed, right? That it's nicely combined. And when we feel like we have, a good dough. Sorry for all the heavy grunting, but it's like a workout, man. Telling you. We're doing some more workout later on when we're rolling that dough out, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right. Good. Now there's still some flour in the bowl, but it doesn't matter. The consistency is good like that. If we do it any harder, I won't be able to roll it out without the help of any kind of industrial, one of these machines that like flatten the street. Okay, so the dough is done, just that easy. So the vegan version should now probably also be finished if you just cut the aubergines, if you put salt over them, and if you let them sit, they should sit for a good 15 minutes at least to let the salt really do its work. Okay, perfect. Now, what we can do next is to go for our sauce. And for the sauce, I have a couple of veggies prepared. Here, I hope you can see that. Yeah, so we have different carrots. Well, not different carrots. We have carrots, but we have multiple carrots. We have celery. We have some garlic, and we also have onion, but I pre-cut the onion because I have to cry so much. I'm super sensitive to onion. I don't know why. I basically can only look at it and I already start tearing up. So I did cheat a little and I did cut that because I didn't want to sit here, with my makeup running down my face and looking all tragic. Let's see what you guys are chatting. Don't want to miss out on the conversation. Okay. You stole a spoon from your great grandmother kitchen craft, sorry. Well, I mean, I think it gets very good use. Like whoever doesn't know kitchen craft yet, I will include her actually in one of my upcoming videos about my favorite kitchen witches. She has a fantastic channel about kitchen witchery. She doesn't post very often. You could post more often. I would enjoy to see posts on a regular basis, but they're so yummy. The last recipe was one of apple. Was it pear or apple? I can't remember. I think an apple pie with a whiskey reduced sauce. Doesn't matter. It was amazing. Go and watch it. It's really nice. Okay. You tell your husband, Paige said. I tell my husband all the time, you look and speak just like his mother. She's from Germany. Ah, okay. Well, I'm not sure if the look like her is a compliment here, but I'll take it. That's very fun. Yeah, I mean, obviously I have the German accent, so I always try to conceal it, but it's really hard to do. Okay. Okay, yeah, so butterfly magic. You only missed me making the dough, but it's just mixing the flour and the eggs. Nothing too crazy. That was it. Apple pie with brambles and whiskey. Thank you, Kitchen Craft. Okay. Fantastic. I would say let's chop some veggies. And yes, I gave you the amounts that you need. I'm making a little bit more because I always love to pre-cook during the week, except for my fancy videos and my bits of kitchen magic that I do, I don't have too much time. So I always love to, on like the weekend, usually Saturday, Sunday, just take the time to spend like a couple of hours in the kitchen and pre-cook for the entire week. So if I'm making a lasagna, I'm just making 2 lasagnas and one a batch of sauce bolognese, and then we can eat from that for a while. So I have a couple of more ingredients to cut than you, but well, you still have to cut the onion, so it equals out, you know? Fantastic. And as you might notice, I'm not peeling carrots because who has the time? In fact, I never peel anything that doesn't absolutely necessarily has to be peeled, because I don't think it makes a big difference with things that cook soft, you know, where the peel just cooks soft. And sometimes it even adds a little bit of extra taste to it. Like for example, with onions, like obviously with onions you remove some of the skin, but not all of it. It gives like the sauce usually a little bit more of a brown, and it just adds flavor. So yeah, never got behind the peeling craze. At least not on my vegetables. Very well on my skin. Let's chop these lovely little carrots. Had to cut some parts off because before I had this all set up, and then my son came to the table and he was just like taking everything that he could reach and putting it into his mouth, because he is the ever hungry caterpillar. How is it called in English? German, it's called Raupe Nimmersatt. You know, like the caterpillar, the book that eats its way through everything. I think he got that from me, but well, at least he eats healthy, you know? That's a plus. All right. Good, good, good. Yeah, of course. Now, this is the regular version, so I'm only cutting the ingredients that you can see here. If you are making the veggie or vegan version, which is basically the same thing for the sauce, you will have to cut a couple of more vegetables, because obviously you replace the meat with vegetables. And to give it that like nice texture or that nice taste that you have with the meat, like balancing out the sauce and the other veggies. Instead of that, in the vegan and vegetarian version, you have mushrooms, because they also add this like depth of flavor, basically. And you're also just gonna cut them first because you're also gonna fry them first. They have to always be fried in a very, very hot pan. And that just, the reason for that is that if you toss the mushrooms in a very hot pan, the water that they retain cooks out very quickly. Like it evaporates basically. And if you put them on a low heat, the water just seeps out, and then you have this kind of like mushy stew swimming around, and you don't really have like the nicely fried mushrooms. Let's see. The Hungry Caterpillar, thank you. Yes, that one, exactly, that's how it's called. Yeah, right? I also, as a child, I would also like peel everything, and I really don't know who came up with a you have to peel everything, because if you wash it really well, I mean, it also depends where you get your food from, obviously. But I think if you get it from a trusted source or from your own garden, and it's not heavily treated with pesticides, I think it's fine if you don't peel it. And even if it's treated with pesticides, I don't know how much peeling it will actually do, or how much of it seeps into the veggies, you know? Let's see. Oh, Brown Wolf, what a lovely setup. Have a great day. You have a great day too. And Cynthia, I have the hardest time saying that name. I will just say Cynthia because I know I can say that without mistake. Please, I'm so sorry. Cynthia. Yeah, the peel is good for you. As a child, I learned every time I wanted an apple, and I think my mom was just too lazy to peel it, and I always wanted it without the peel. She would be like, "You have to eat the peel because all the vitamins are under the peel." Not true, but you know, that's what she used to say, and so it kind of stuck with me. The peel is healthy. Okay. I think I have to chop a little bit quicker, otherwise you're all sitting there like, oh my god, she's taking ages. That's also the reason why it takes ages to film my videos, because I love cooking. I'm just not a very quick cook, because I love to take my time. I love to, you know, have a glass of wine, listen to some audiobooks. Well, depending, not every day, but in the weekend when I'm doing my leisure cooking, basically my cooking to relax, because I do find cooking extremely relaxing. That is what I will do. It's like my little self-care moment in the day. Some people like to take a bath. I like to put on some Audible and an apron. Well, not actually an apron. I don't own one. But I'll just be in the kitchen and chill and do my thing, and it's nice. Can anyone relate to that? I hope. I hope I'm not the only weirdo out here. All right. Cool. Let's chop that. There we go. A little bit of speed here. Whew. Getting warm. Okay, next what we want to do is do the celery, which is here. If your celery still has the leafy green on, you can also use that. Actually, it adds a lot of flavor too. Mine was a little bit on the older side, so I did cut them off because it didn't look so nice and appetizing anymore. But you can totally chop them. Is it now back on? I'm so sorry, guys. Can you hear me again? I think I, by accident, knocked my microphone. Yes, you can hear. Yeah, a big thank you to Louis because he just fixed that. And without him, I would be sitting here crying. I really have no idea how to work that kind of magic. I can only do the kitchen magic. I can't do the tech magic. Okay, I will have a closer look at my chat because otherwise I don't know what's happening. Sorry. Um, so glad. Now I have no idea what you missed, but probably just a lot of rambly things. Sorry. Not gonna repeat what I said because, to be honest, I can't remember. Wayward Witch says, "Thanks, Louis. Can we hire you for our lives?" Well, we won't hire him. We will just force him because the Wayward Witch and me and some other upcoming projects with other witchy content creators have interesting live chats coming up. So stay tuned for that. Oh, the Wayward Witch, I would totally hire you if I had any money, but so far YouTube is only costing me money and not bringing me anything, so maybe in the future. Cool. Okay, nice. Now let's slice that last bit of celery. And then I think, yeah, we have everything that we need and we will go over to the stove, all right? Right, okay. So I'm just gonna switch you around to the other camera. Let's see if I can do that without any help. And then we will start to cook our sauce, okay? Yay! I think it worked. I hope so. Let me know if you can't see me. I mean, you can't see my face right now. Um, because it was just not possible to set it up here in that way. But I hope you can see the pan and you can see the ingredients. So what we want to do first is to put a little bit of oil, you can also use butter, in a pan because this is where we're gonna fry our veggies and our meat, okay? Let's see. Nice transition. Okay, it worked. Oh, cool. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whoever said that they liked my top. Okay, let's turn the heat up on this. And then we're gonna wait until it's a little bit warmer. And we're gonna fry first the meat and we're gonna fry the onions. So if you are vegetarian and you don't like the sight of fried meat, maybe for now, just listen and don't look. And I'm just gonna get it out of the fridge. There we go. We also need some onions that I did hide in here so I don't have to cry. There they are. Fantastic. Why is it loading? Sorry guys, sometimes I don't know if it's my stream or if it's my phone. It's my phone. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna put some meat in the pan. I know that looks like a lot of meat, but as I said, I'm doing basically triple portions here. And what I usually do, I immediately with the meat toss in the onions because I really like when the onions are properly roasted and done, you know. When you fry them longer, they lose a lot of the sharpness and they get like a sweeter taste, and it tastes just really, really nice in the sauce. Okay. So we're gonna mix it a bit. Just like so. Okay. Perfect. And then we can leave that be for a while. And usually I would just toss the veggies in with the meat. But since I'm making so much, I don't have the space. So what I will do is that I will actually take a bigger pot right now. And I will already start the vegetables in that bigger pot, and then we're just going to cook the sauce in the pot instead of the pan. It doesn't really matter. You just take whatever you have at home. So I'm just going to use some oil again. If you use butter, that will give you a bit of a richer taste, but oil is fine too. Okay, cool. I'm throwing in veggies. I'm trying to do it so the camera can actually see some stuff. But I'm really not used to cooking with that setup, so I'm sorry if it's a bit meshy. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Might help if you also turn that on. Okay. And this can just like cook a little bit on the stove for a while. I'm gonna go over to the table again. So, I hope that worked. Let's see. Right, I can't see it for myself. Ah, yeah, now I can. Perfect. So what we need to do next is to cut a little bit of garlic. And the reason that I spared the garlic until now is that if you fry garlic too long, it tends to get a little bit bitter, the taste. So it's actually nicer if you toss it in a little bit later just for the flavors and the aroma. At least that is my experience. So I'm going to peel that. And in the meantime, maybe I can tell you a bit more about the magical properties or how I make this lasagna basically into a kitchen witch spell for like family bliss and harmony and love. So obviously we have a sauce with that lasagna, and with the classical one you take tomatoes. And tomatoes do have a place in love spells and fertility spells and a lot of those things. And originally, I think they have been basically imported to Europe from America. Like I think the Aztecs and the Incas. Yeah, that should be correct. Used them, and that's also where the name comes from the word tomato, which means to swell. So it's the swell fruit. And tomatoes didn't always have the red color. They actually used to be yellow. That's why they were also called pomidoro, like the golden fruit, because they had a very yellow color. Before I tell you more, I have to pop over there and quickly stir something, so I'm gonna take you along. Let's just stir this a little bit so it doesn't burn. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we just really want this to brown properly. So I now did it in a wok pan, which is not ideal because the heat is not as high. Like the heat is very distributed and very low in a wok. So it doesn't brown as nicely. It's actually better to do it in a pot. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but well, here we are. Not very good at planning ahead sometimes. But yeah, it will work regardless, and it will taste amazing. Okay, this can do its thing. And I am back. Let's just see what you lovely people all say. It's like home with the onion and the garlic. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think every time I think of like home or my childhood home, I remember like I grew up in this little apartment. I showed it in one of in my holiday vlog, I think, and it had this like cozy, tiny kitchen. Like immediately when you walked in, you basically walked in the front door and you are in the kitchen. You were in the kitchen. You still are. Just now I'm not living there anymore. And like on the right side, it had the oven. So every time I would walk in there, and then especially like in autumn or in winter when it was really dark outside, but the oven light was on, it was so cozy and it smelled like bread or like cake because my mom used to cook and bake a lot. She still does. And oh, it's just the ultimate feeling. So cozy. Very much, my mom is very much an undercover half, which I'm convinced mother. I'm on to you. All right. Let's see. Yeah, no, sorry, Witch. I have not figured out yet how I can all let you taste this, but you can all cook it yourself now since I am cooking with you. You can taste it that way. Okay. Some beautifying recipes. I wish I could. I have not found anything yet. No, that's not true. I actually do because Cass asked, can you give us some beautifying recipes? I do have some cool cottage witch things, cottage witch spells that are great for anything beauty related. I will share that in another video. Like I have a really cool like eye cream and stuff like that that you can enchant. And I will also do a video on glamour magic, which I'm super excited for. So that also has a little bit of that topic played into it. Kitchen Craft Cell says, smell of home for me is potatoes and leeks. Oh, yeah. Oh, you can make such a good soup with that. Maybe throw in some melted cheese and some... I digress. Let's toss this in before it's too late. I'll take you to the kitchen again. Okay. Let's see. I left my chopping board here, so we're just gonna make this small. And if you have a garlic press, feel free to use a garlic press. I don't own one, so I will spend the next 2 days smelling my fingers and thinking, oh, garlic. Because if you know any like secret recipe to get the garlic stench from your fingers, please let me know. Because even if I like scrub them and shower, it still has a very intense aroma. Okay. Die. Let's toss them in here. Why not? Okay. So let's see. Just gonna stir them a little bit. A tiny little bit. Yeah, so see, the wok was not a good idea. It takes a million years in here. But we're gonna do something very dangerous. Gonna put it all in that pot over here. And probably spill half of it, but wish me luck. Gonna do that. In the kitchen you have to be able to improvise. I think cooking is so much more fun if you can do it intuitively, and I think cooking is not very hard if you know some basics, and then you just freestyle and you can really, create really nice things. And the most important thing is because I had a lot of people like write to me now when I posted recipes and they were like, oh, it looks so good, but I'm really not a cook or I'm really not a baker and I'm a bit afraid of like trying it. Honestly, I think the fear is the biggest thing that's holding you back. You can mess up very little unless you burn stuff. You can always somehow save it. So I would always just advise to just do and see, just wing it, and I promise you will get something out of it and we'll just get more skilled with time. Okay, cool. See that? Now that can sit in there for a little while longer. What we want to do now is to make the bechamel sauce, the white sauce that goes on the lasagna. And here we also have like 2 options, of course. We have the regular and vegetarian version, which is both the same, and then we have the vegan version. So the vegan version basically just uses vegan cream, I think it's called, or vegan milk, or like nut milk and stuff like that. But I think the general idea behind it is the same, so I will just show the one version and hope that you know how to adapt that. So let's see. Just let that cook a little bit. Now we have a little pot here for our bechamel, and let me just quickly pop over to check my phone in case anything technical happens again and no one can hear me or see me. And also I really want to have a sip of that apple juice. Lemon juice removes a lot of smells. Actually, that's really good advice because it's true. Lemon is a really good cleaner. Not only magical, but also very much mundane. I will try that. I do have lemons here. I will try to rub some on my finger and see if that helps it. Oh my god, you all posted such good like things, like advice. I'll try all of that. Oh, sorry, I forgot to be on camera. let me go here again. Okay, now my phone is here. I see what you all are writing. Now, for the bechamel, we need some butter, or the vegan alternative to that. Actually, I don't know if anyone vegan is here and cooking right now, but I do cook a lot of vegetarian dishes. I don't cook a lot of vegan stuff, at least not intentionally. When I lived in Madrid, I loved this little place. It was a vegan cafe. It was called Bunny's Deli. And it was just a tiny little like hole in the wall, and they had like the owner had this cute little doggy, and I always ate there like their bread with the cashew spread, like the fake vegan cheese. Oh my god, so good. So yeah, if you a vegan cook here, let me know your secrets. I always try to include for my kitchen witchery spells some kind of vegan alternative, but as I'm not super versed in that, I don't always know how you guys like it. Okay, so perfect. So what I did here is that I put a thinful amount of butter in, and I put it on heat just to let it melt a little bit. And in the meantime, what we can do with this is we put a little bit of tomato paste in it. If you don't have that or can find it in a supermarket, you can use ketchup as well. It makes it a bit sweeter, but it doesn't matter because it still tastes amazing. Okay, cool. Just put that in. And then we're gonna mix it so it can fry a little bit as well. This is still on the hottest heat, biggest heat. I don't know how to say it in English exactly, but you know what I mean. It's just really hot in there. Gonna fry that a little bit. And now we have to multitask. And this is why I could never be a professional chef, because I think it's insanely stressful. But, you know, since I'm only here with you guys watching, and I hope you won't judge me, so much more relaxed if I mess something up. So, you see that butter melting? I don't know if you can actually see in that pot. I hope so. I don't know exactly where that hot camera is pointing. Okay, so now this is sizzling a lot, so we wanna add some wine to it. If you want, that is not a must. Like, if you don't like to cook with wine, leave it out. Just adds a bit more flavor. Let's see if there's something left in the bottle, but I had a glass or two yesterday, so, you know, a little something is left. Good, good, good. Okay, so we can let that simmer. The butter is now really melting. And what we want to do now is to reduce the heat for the bechamel, okay? So we can basically turn it off, like it doesn't need to be on. Let's see if you all can hear me. Yeah, you can. Cool, cool, cool. So we need some flour in there, right? So we want to basically fry some flour, but not really, like just lightly, you know? So it shouldn't be too hot. Why is this still so hot? I think it just needs some time to cool off. Let me get some flour. There we are. And then obviously we also want to have something to stir it with. I think I need to quickly go behind you because there is all my kitchen stuff and that massive pile of dirty dishes that I spoke about before. Oh, I'm back. Okay, cool. So we have that little whisk, which is great because then we can make a really smooth little bechamel sauce. So just sprinkle in some of the flour, right? There we go. Bit of flour. You know, so that it's like, it's not too liquid. It's almost like, you know, like a little bit of a dough, like frying away in here. Maybe a little bit more. Let's see. That's good. Yeah. Just make sure to stir that once in a while to, you know, not have it burn. Now, what we want to do here is to add the tomatoes, and I just use the canned tomatoes because it's the easiest right now, and I feel like lasagna is already a dish that requires some steps, so let's not make it too overly difficult here. There we go. I'm using 3 cans. As I said, I'm making like triple the portions. If you're making just the recipe that I posted, 1 can will be fine. Cool. And with this, we can now also reduce the heat. Like it doesn't need to cook on like a high heat because it will still go in the oven for like about half an hour, 45 minutes. So there's no need to waste all that energy because the carrots and everything else in there that's still a bit harder will cook through later on. Not forgetting the bechamel here. Okay. So now the sauce can just simmer. And obviously we want to add a couple of spices. And now I was completely sidetracked before because I was telling you about the magical ingredients and the history of the tomato, basically. So the tomato also sometimes is referred to as the love fruit. And back in the times, it was actually believed that it would awaken untamable lust and passion. So, you know, if you have something wild planned for tonight, then you have good chances of it becoming a memorable time, right? So in German, it's also sometimes called Wolfspfirsich, which means wolf's peach, which I find very interesting. And in some German folklore, the tomato was actually said to be a fruit, because the tomato is a fruit of witches. And I think it's because it's part of the deadly nightshade family. So it was kind of an evil thing. Unfortunately, I don't know too much more about that, but I'll find out and I'll tell you in another video where we use it. All right, cool. But let's see that the bechamel is like doing its thing. So I will put some heat again, not too hot, just a little bit. And then we want to add in a swig of milk. Well, not a swig. Actually, it needs quite a bit of milk. Let's start with that. It's cold milk now, so it will take a while until it like heats. Okay. Cool. And while it is doing that, I will take you over to the table again so we can chat. Okay, so I hope the table is showing. Okay, let's see what you all said. Oh, I'm I'm so behind. I really wish we could do like YouTube lives where like you could also just chat to me. Because I always feel like I'm just chatting into the camera and then I'm like, oh my God, I missed out on all that conversation. Um, yeah, self-care rituals, Wayward Witch. Yeah, definitely go check out her channel. I mean, I already feature her everywhere I can, but she is amazing. So um, definitely recommend it. Let's see. Charm up your life. I presume Dominic is your partner or husband. Dominic would eat anything with cheese on it. That's very much describing me too. I love cheese. uh, uh, uh. Bex, do you have tips on freezing a batch to reduce freezer burn? A batch of what? I don't know what you mean. But please clarify that for me, and I will give you advice. I think I have to go over there because, like, with all the reading the comments, I spent too much time sitting here. Very sorry. I will get better at this. Okay, let's see what these two things are doing. Right, so we want to stir the bechamel so it is not burning. So yeah, right. So tomatoes, yeah, apparently used to be an aphrodisiac, or said to help with those kind of issues. But I still like, the ingredients that I use with magical cooking. I always like I know a lot of people like to like go with entire lists of what herb does what and what vegetable does what and what scent does what. To some extent, I will do that, but I also want to know why. So if one of the properties doesn't make sense to me because I can't really find any kind of trace to that, I won't use it. So for me, what I do a lot, since I'm very much into folklore and history, is to not only use like the medicinal properties of herbs and plants, but I will look into folklore about the village tales, basically about why a tomato, for example, is said to be the love fruit, And if I find something that resonates with me, and it doesn't mean that it's like true and it's a scientific fact because it's not, it is then true for me, Like I can just then feel, oh yeah, I see why they would say that, and then for me personally, it has that magical property. For you, it might not have that because maybe you have a different tale or a different relationship with tomatoes or a different history. Maybe you hate tomatoes and they are disgusting to you. So I'm always very careful when it comes to like magical properties. I think you have to kind of like also find your own things that work for you. And that's also one of the reasons why in my recipes I mostly stick with the medicinal workings of herbs and plants because these things are, these things are working because they're influencing your organism, like your body, So for every person, they will work more or less the same. Okay. So we turn this bechamel a little bit up. Oh, I got so dirty. Well, I think it's time to add some herbs as we were just speaking about them. So we need some salt, we need some pepper. And what I love to put in anything with minced meat, and I got this actually, I think it's from the Kurdish. Kurdish, is that a word? I don't know. Please let me know if I said that nationality correct. Kurdish? I think it's Kurdish kitchen. As far as I know, they do use a lot of like cinnamon with like spinach or minced meat recipes, and I love it. It makes it taste so much better. So if you have never tried that, put some cinnamon in your tomato sauce or in your bolognese or in your lasagna, try it out. It's yummy. So what else do we need? We need some pepper in here. This was not yet open, but now it is. Cool. Don't be too stingy, like just put a good amount in so it has some taste. Don't want to forget to stir our bechamel, because the bechamel now will thicken with time, you know, like with the flour we put in, it will get thicker and thicker and thicker. So it's this nice white sauce that we can then pour over, and it makes it also creamy and yummy and oh. Okay, what else do we need? I think we should put in some oregano. If you have some, put some in, or Italian seasoning or whatever else you have in house that, you know, might go good in that. Okay. Fantastic. So if your bechamel is getting a little bit too thick, like mine is thickening quite a bit now, you can just add in a little bit more milk to balance it out. There we go. And then obviously we also want to put some yummy stuff in our bechamel. And what you can do is to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into it. I won't do that right now because I forgot to prepare a lemon and it's really far away. So just gonna go without it. But what is really nice to give it a very, yeah, just a creamy and very characteristic taste is to put in nutmeg and then some salt and pepper as well. And that's basically all the magic there. Really, really nice. Cool. Okay. Now for a second I have to focus on this because it's like harder than I thought to, you know, chat and think of things to say, speaking to my invisible friends that I can only read their comments like 10 minutes later. And do all of that. Okay, cool. Now we only need salt in both of those, and then it's basically good to go. So the next step that we will do now is to roll out our lasagna sheeps. Not the sheeps. We leave the sheeps alone, poor sheeps. The lasagna sheets. And once that is done, we only have to layer it in a oven-safe dish. And yeah, then it is basically good to go in the oven. Man, that smells so good. It smells so nice. Okay. That's good. Let's turn off the heat with both of those, and then I'll take you back to the table. Okay, now let me read through your comments again. Oh, Hollandaise sauce and eggs Benny. I love those. I miss those so much. So I know a lot of you people are from the US, and you probably have that everywhere. Brunch with eggs Benedict and sauce hollandaise and bacon. And in Germany, it's really hard to find because in Germany we do have a brunch culture and we do have a breakfast culture. Like people will go for breakfasts, but we don't have like the brunch places that you maybe more now in the US with like pancakes and eggs Benny and Bloody Marys. We will have like really big like plates with all kinds of cheese and ham and salami, and then you get a bread basket with croissants and little bread and pretzels, and it's amazing. It's great, and you get some fruit and some yogurt. And usually you drink like champagne with orange juice with it. And it's really nice, but it's just not Eggs Benedict with sauce hollandaise. And yeah, I wish someone would just come to my tiny village and open a proper American brunch place here. And I would have so much business because where I live, it's the biggest US base. Like in the village that I am living in, I think 80% of the population is American. So I'm waiting. Okay, so I am not doing a random mess here. This is actually good for something. Because you have to now roll out our dough. And you want to make sure that you have floured the ish out of this table because otherwise you will have a sticky mess. I mean, the dough is not very sticky, but still, take some precautions. That's all I want to say. We want to knead that a little bit more again, just to make it a bit more elastic, to make sure it all sticks very well together. And now, my dear friends, we will get to the second part of our workout because that will require some arm strength as well. And I will actually need to stand up to do that. There's no way that I can do that sitting down. But well, let's first see that the dough is good. So this is where a pasta machine comes in extremely handy because you just have to plop that dough in and it makes this like perfect little sheets, but we don't have that, so I will split the dough in two parts. Just because we have to roll it out extremely thin, like basically to a point where you can see through it, to make it taste nice. I mean, you can leave them a little bit thicker. It is not a drama, but you know, we're striving for perfection here, people. So let's try it. Okay, let's see. Sorry, sometimes you can also just use cooking and baking to let out some pent-up aggression. Just kidding. Okay, cool. Always good to also flour dust your rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, as I said, you can just use an empty wine bottle, remove the labels. You can remove them really easily with like hot water or steam. And then we're gonna do this, okay? And let's see. I'll get extremely dirty now, but well, enjoy the show. Oh, I feel like I could be posting this on OnlyFans, just, you know, maybe with a different outfit. Sorry, want to keep it peachy. All right. Now, as you can see, that dough is extremely stubborn. You really have to give it some tough love, right? So, just be a bit tough. Sometimes dough needs it like that. All right. There we go. Okay, I will take like a talking break for a minute, but feel free to chat in the comments because I really need all my breath and focus here. I really have to start my workouts again, especially the ones for the arms. You know what you can tell me in the comments? You can tell me what you guys are doing for Samhain, if you celebrate, or if you're not celebrating Samhain, but you're celebrating Halloween, what you do for Halloween. Actually, if you're looking for some inspiration on Halloweeny, witchy Halloweeny preparations, Charm Up Your Life, the channel she has posted here before in the chat, you can find her little icon, is doing a mini series for her Halloween preparation over on her channel, and you can guess her costume that she's going to wear. So she's posting, like in every video that she's uploading, she's posting a little hint towards what it might be. I have no idea so far, but maybe you can guess. So that is a nice little channel to check out as well. And we will also be doing a little interview, collaboration, chat, whatever, here on my channel. As you can see, the dough is really a bitch to work. But we're getting there. It just, you know, requires a little bit of strength and a little bit of patience. Okay. Oh, hello, my mom is online. Hello, mother. Nice that you're watching. I'm actually using my Oma's, so her mom's rolling pin. She says she's coming for dinner. Well, then you have to start driving now because it's an hour drive. Might be finished by then. All right. Okay. Now, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I never do the dough, because it just takes so long. But well, I'm hoping you're not getting bored, and I'm hoping you're sweating with me and doing your little kitchen witch workout for the day. All right. Actually, that would be kind of a workout program that I would get behind, like a cooking workout. First, you sweat off all those calories, and then you can just consume them. But you still have worked your muscles, so you still build the muscle. Might make that into something. Let me know if you're interested. Okay. Okay, let's see. So this is already fairly thin, stretched out. Ideally, I would like it even thinner. But I think for now, we're just gonna go with that because my arms are tired. Okay. And also I'm getting a little bit hungry, I have to say, so good, good, good. Cool. Good. Perfect. So what we want to do now is, of course, cut it in parts. Sorry, I should be looking at you. Rude. So we want to cut it in parts that then can cover the entire oven dish, you know, like the layers that we want to make. So I'm gonna move that a little bit to the side. And I'm gonna get our 2 pots and I'm gonna get the oven dish because now we start the layering. And then it's almost done. And it only has to go in the oven for a little bit to bake. And then it's good to go. Gonna set this down here. Ah, there we go. Okay, and then we want to grab our oven dish and we want to grab a ladle. And of course, we will also need a knife to cut the dough. Cool. Let's do this. I mean, when you make this at home, you wanna taste test it and just see if you put in enough spices and salt and pepper for your taste. I usually just throw stuff in and it turns out the way I want it to feel. Hi, Pepper. I don't know if you can see my dog, but he just like walked past because he was like, I can smell food on the table. Hey. Down, down, Pepper, down. Sit, sit, sit. Just like, no. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so we start with a nice layer of the sauce, either your meat sauce or the veggie sauce. If you made the vegan or vegetarian version. So there we go. Oh, that smells so good, I'm telling you. Then we gonna put some bechamel in. So yeah, I just really like my bechamel, you know, I like anything creamy, so put in a lot. Okay. And now we kind of want to cut out the dough. I'm just going to do it like this and see more or less, yeah, probably like about half of this is needed for the first layer. Obviously didn't cut that through properly. Let's try that again. So, okay, cool. And then we just gonna cover that here. Now we have a little bit over. I don't know if you can see it properly here. Possibly, probably. I was just informed that I do have flour on my boobs. Sorry. We'll just get it worse. So, you know, if that annoys you, don't look at my boobs. That's also a reason why I really want to make an apron. And I was actually planning on doing like a little tutorial how you can make a kitchen witch apron. I just have not yet decided yet on which kind of design I want it to be. I think I want to have like a pinafore made from like linen and make it look like really medievally witchy and cool. But yeah, if you have any ideas or if you have anything or find that interesting or would want to have like a DIY tutorial on that, please let me know because I would love to make one and not get super dirty while cooking anymore. Okay, cool. So now the first layer is in, but obviously we want to make a couple of more layers. So we're gonna put in some sauce again. And I know some people are like very just drizzle just the teeniest bit of sauce over their pasta, but I just really love a lot of flavor and a lot of ingredients, so I always cover it properly. And we're gonna add a bit more of bechamel. Cool. Okay, okay, okay. And if you are doing this, you know, in your capacity as a kitchen witch and you want to add a little bit of extra magic or a little bit more of intent to it, what you can also do is to put sigils or symbols into this. And I think I included that in a lot of my spell work, kitchen witch spell videos before. So it's really easy. You just really take a second or a bit more than a second to like really focus on what you want to achieve, what you envision. For example, the meal being like with your family, if you serve that for a family gathering and you always have people there that are like fighting or getting on your nerves, or you can't get along with them nicely, and you want it to be a peaceful, nice meal of lovely conversation, you just sit down, place your hand on the meal and like think of that positive intention, of that positive like picture in your head, and like let that energy flow into the dish. That's the essence of kitchen witchery, to make it really compact and short, right? Um, yeah, I am not going to do that right now because I don't think you want to, watch me sitting here 5 minutes without saying a beep. Maybe you do, but I have to disappoint you. I talk a lot. But instead, we'll just put the second layer on. I'm gonna roll this out a tiny bit more to the side so it really covers everything. Gonna stretch it a bit more. Cool, 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 cool. That should work. Yeah. Just gonna put the sides away. I'm just gonna do that lasagna with like 2 layers. If you have more dough left, like feel free to make more layers. We are only 3 people eating that, so I don't feel like we need more. I know that my partner will strongly disagree if he sees that, but sorry. Right, and then we do a last layer. And I'm sorry if you chatted in the comments, I will have a look in a second. Just quickly want to pop that into the oven, or at least like get the cheese on it. So there we go. Ooh, so nice. And then a last layer of bechamel. Okay. Now doesn't that look amazing? Okay, cool. Let me just get the pots out of the way so we have some space here to cut some mozzarella. Actually, we don't need to cut the mozzarella. What am I saying? We can just plug it with our hands. Let me see if you lovely people said anything, if I missed something. Oops, I did something to the touch portal. All good, all good. Kitchen Craft said, I like Japanese aprons. They cross behind the back. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. I think that's called a pinafore. Pinafore? I don't know. I mean, you are French, actually. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, I would love to do something like that. The pasta would be awesome for sigil work. I use embossed rolling pins. Yeah, I saw that in your video. I think it was the one with the rose cookies. That is really pretty. I want to get something like that too. Wayward Witch said, this is so very different from how we make lasagna. I'm really intrigued. How do you make lasagna? That's the only way I know how to make lasagna. But I'm always happy to learn other ways, and I do feel like a lot of cultures cook very differently. Um, so I love like if you people tell me, oh, actually we don't do it that way, we do it differently. I think there's so much to learn. Like for example, 2 days ago I made a cake for Samhain. I will share it with you tomorrow, and it's amazing. I'll actually tell you what it is. It is a 3-layer nut and pear cake with salted caramel buttercream and caramel pears on top. So good. um, And for example, here in Germany, like obviously you have different kinds of buttercream. You have like Swiss buttercream, you have German buttercream, you have American buttercream. And I never knew like the American kind of buttercream, but it's so much easier. So I always like to learn like new techniques on how to cook. So please share with me if you have knowledge. I am just a simple kitchen witch from Germany that cooks, intuitively, not with a lot of like skill or knowledge. It's just whatever I find yummy. So if anyone can teach me, please do so. My mom is telling me that I am using a knife and that that is wrong and I should be using a proper tool to cut the pasta. I know I should, but I don't have that. But if you have two at home, Mom, please, I would love to have one. Okay. Okay, charm up your life. Have a lovely evening and see you soon. Okay, so what I did now is I put some mozzarella on this, and now I will sprinkle some parmesan on top of that. You can just also use grated cheese, whatever you have at home. And as you can see, I do love my cheese. It's just so good. So for the vegan alternative, you can use vegan parmesan on top of that. That should also taste really nice. I think that's actually made from cashews, if I am properly informed about that. And now we're done. This is, well, almost it has to go in the oven, but basically we're done with work. Let me quickly pop that in the oven. I'll be back, and then we can see if you want to chat a little bit more. I'll take you with me to the kitchen and boop. Yeah, I still have stuff in the oven, so let's put that out maybe. All right, there we go. Lasagna can go in. Gonna put that on around, well, 180 degrees Celsius. That would be around 340 degrees or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, just something that's warm enough. I just quickly gonna wash my hands because they're very sticky from the dough, from the pasta dough. And then I will be back at the table and see how everyone is doing. 1 second, gonna take you over here. Okay, cool. So that was fun. And now basically this has to cook. It depends a little bit. If you made that with like the dried lasagna sheets from the store, it might take a little bit longer until they're like soft. It might take about 40, 45 minutes. If you made that with fresh lasagna sheets from the store or if you made them fresh yourself, it takes about half an hour. So not too long. Oh, Simply Witch, hello. So nice to see you. Simply Witch also has a really cool YouTube channel and she does a lot of magical crafting. So she does really cool like DIY projects, upcycle projects, basically magical upcycle projects with like DVDs and like just magical tools that you things that you can use in magic from recycled stuff. So definitely recommending her channel as well. And she also was my first Patreon. So thank you so much for supporting my channel. It's really awesome of you. Salem, Massachusetts. I have never been to Salem, Massachusetts, actually. I have only been to the States twice. But yeah, not to Salem. I see a lot of people are super fans of that. I always wonder, is it not super touristy if you go there? Because I really hate touristy places. I can't with touristy places. But please, PowerPoint made simple. Tell us more. Enlighten us. How did you like it there? Hi there, VIP. A witchy gathering, yeah. I wish I could also just transport you here. Now, how cool would that be if I could do like poof, and you would all appear here, and my table would extend way longer out, and we could all just have a witchy dinner. I would love that. They have to invent that. I mean, they invent so many useless things, so come on, people. Prioritize. Oh, Simply Veg said in Brazil we do lasagna with ham and beef and mozzarella. That actually also sounds really, really good. Do you do that with like a cream sauce or would you do that with a tomato sauce? But yeah, yummy. You person, I think you have an Irish name and I really can't pronounce it. That's why I'm not saying anything you post. I really want to. But I'm just so afraid I will butcher your name. Is it Mora? Mora? It's written Moira. So sorry. All right. Okay. Wow, you're really from everywhere. That's so cool. Oh yeah, New Orleans is also like one of the places that I really, really want to visit. Like Salem is not really on my to visit list, but New Orleans just has this like, for me, this like swamp witch image. I mean, it has a very rich like history, so I think it would be amazing, amazing to visit and to see. Do you guys have any more like witchy destinations that you can recommend that you maybe have been and you say like, oh, there's so much history there, or there's just this like energy and like magic there that you can recommend? Also, 1 second, because I think it's almost time for baby to eat or to go to bed, and he's just sneaking around there. So, just quickly want to say, see how he's doing because he has been really sick. I'm actually also sick. I know I don't much seem it, but I am. Wanna come here? You wanna say hi? Hi there. Oh, you're so cute. Hey. Aha. Was denn? This is my tiny my tiny bitch in training. Okay, I think he can hold maybe 5 more minutes longer, but then I will have to go, my lovely people. Gibst du mir Papi mit? Ah, tschakka, tschakka, tschakka. Ah, baby. Yeah, so I'll have to go soon. But ooh, the Highland Games in Scotland. Oh, we angered the baby. Oh, I'm so sorry. Um, and second, now I miss so much again, of course. Moira. Ah, Moira. Okay, perfect. Now I know that. Well, lovely to have you here on my channel. Thank you for your lovely comments. um, so, Kitchen Crafts at Edinburgh, Scotland. Yeah, that is most definitely a magical place and so worth a visit. I think it's one of the places that I always like get a urge to visit, like in the colder days, like in autumn. I have a very strong draw to go to Scotland or to Ireland, um, just because I feel it goes so well with like the fog and the cold weather and the tumbling leaves, and then just going to a pub and have like a just a stew or anything, and oh, so cozy. And with all the castles, obviously, so magical as well. St. Augustine, Florida. My knowledge of my geographical knowledge of Florida is very limited. I know where Miami is, I know where Fort Lauderdale is because I've been there, but I don't know St. Augustine. I will look that up though, Kayla. Is there anything like special about Saint Augustine? Like, is there any history? I will definitely Google that and see how it see what comes up. Wood Thrush Cottage asks, do you bake at Yule? Yes, of course. I bake all the time. I have not decided yet what I'll make for Yule, but I think I'll make something that is traditional here, like kind of a log cake bread. It's called a bread, but it's a cake. But I will give it my own little magical twist and I'll definitely share it with you guys. But I have not yet decided. Maybe I also make something ridiculously fancy. We'll see. Paige asked about a recipe for women who are looking to get pregnant or already are expecting mothers. I did a fertility spell video, which was more focused on the healing part or like the stress with the TTC, trying to conceive. At least what it brought for me, which took really long and was a difficult journey. But I will maybe make something that is more tied to the medicinal part of it, even though it's very hard to advise in that or to make any kind of medicinal recipes because like fertility issues are always very much linked to your own body and hormones and different kind of things. But yeah, I will put it on my list. Ooh, St. Augustine is very haunted and has a rich history. Oh, okay, cool. I will look that up. That sounds very cool. Glastonbury, UK, also amazing. Love it. Okay, well, guys, I think I have to go because I have to make sure that baby eats and that he goes to bed on time so he gets better. But it was a pleasure to cook with you. So if you did cook with me and you did not only watch me work as the bad little dominatrixes that you are, I would love to see the results. So if you are by any chance posting it on Instagram, don't forget to tag me at the Witches Cookery. Well, let me put in my Instagram handle. Did that work? Yes, did it? Don't know if it did. I hope it did because it would be so cool. Um, Tag me. I would love to see it. I would love how you liked it. So if it turns out great, send me a comment. Well, the live chat comments will be off by then, but leave me a comment below the video also if you want to do that anyway, because it tremendously helps the algorithm along. I would love that if you want to leave a like. Appreciate that very, very, very much as well. So what else? Yeah, what can you look forward to in my next videos? Um, Next, well, tomorrow I will be posting the Samhain cake, and then later on this week I will be posting a witchy day in the life where I'll take you along through my day preparing for Samhain with some rituals and a bit of history about the holiday and a bit of local history about the holiday. So I hope you'll enjoy that. And que más, que más, que más, que más. Yeah, thank you all for watching. I love it so much that you followed me along, that you commented, that you are there, and I wish you a fantastic evening. So I hope to see you soon. Goodbye. How do I stop streaming? I don't know how. Wait, I need help to stop that stream. Lavi? Luis? I just gonna click a button and hope for the best.